Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Kalispell, Montana. And today is Tuesday, so we've got some Kit Together Tuesday going on. If you have your Gilded Gallery kit, go ahead and pull it out. Let's make it together. We're going to do the two cards that I know are in it. I don't know what they look like very much other than what's on the picture that you saw. So let's go ahead and dive in because I am ready to create. All right, so they have the box this way, but then they have this way. So this is the Gilded Gallery kit. It is an all-inclusive kit, which means all you need is a pair of scissors. One of the reasons is to take the plastic off of them. So because it's got plastic on it, that means it is a stamping kit. They put the plastic on there so that your stamps and ink don't fall out. Let me grab our, oh, I already have our Peaceful Pine over here. So we have a Peaceful Pine right here. If you got this month's or last month's paper pumpkin, then you already have a Peaceful Pine. Now you would have two. You can never have too many, right? You can also, with these, you can keep them, you can use them, and you can refill the ink. So you can get a little ink refill like this, and you can just keep re-inking this pad. You don't have to get the big pad if you don't want to. I do recommend these new pads. They are wonderful. They are nice and easy to open. They are magnetic. You can slide them like this and they will lock in and you don't lose the top, so you don't have to worry about that. I am really loving these, and I love the fact that we are back to the felt pad versus the foam pad. So this is what the foam pad looks like. All right. And this, see, I just opened that one-handed. This is what the felt pad looks like. And I really love these. I have always missed those. The ink spots have always been the felt. So I do recommend these. Next year, they're going to be doing a color revamp, and then all the pads will be like this. That is super exciting. Here are our stamps. Let's see, they should have a thing there. So there's a nice little frame here. There's some greenery, and then we have, let me look, just a little note, heartfelt thanks, and sending love your way. And then sweetest birthday wishes. So that's what we're going to be playing with today. Move that over there. All right. I seem to be doing better without my glasses on lately, except when I want to see something small or close, if I want to read something. All right, so we have our block in here. We have our adhesive, our tear and tape. I love the tear and tape. I'm so glad that they do more of the tear and tape than they do of the glue dots nowadays. It used to be in the beginning, everything was put on by glue dots. This is great. All right, and then we have our block. As you know, I've taken other kit blocks and I've glued two together to make one thicker one. It makes it easier to hold on to. We also have our regular sized dimensionals. Darn, lost my word for a minute there. There are some beautiful envelopes already pre-stamped top and bottom, or flap and front. Gorgeous, and they are kind of a linen-y feeling. They're really, really pretty. Really pretty. Whew. All right, so let's take a look at the instructions. There it is. So I like to just fold this up kind of into a pocket. Oh, got that crooked already. There we go. Fold that into a pocket because the kits come in German, French, and English. And so they have all the different ones. And then what I do is I just stick this in here when I'm done with it. All right. So we have the Gilded Gallery. There are 2 cards, 5 of each. So there are 10 cards in this kit. And we have the 2 different cards. So we're going to start with this side so we know what ingredients go with each kit or each card. And we'll hang on to this for stamping. Let's start with the card bases and then work our way. We'll do the envelopes. All right, so we have this envelope and this envelope. And then I put everything else back in. All right, so we're going to make 1 of each card. I'll talk a little bit about some possible alternating things that you can do with your cards if you wanted. So with card bases, of course, you can always cut them and extend this. You can emboss them as well. All right, and so we have 2 new kits each month, and let's see, the longer one goes over here. We have 2 new kits each month, and so after I've introduced the kits to you, then I do like a mix and match, and I'll take 2 other kits like I did last week. Well, I guess last week not so much. A few weeks ago, last week, I ended up showing you the Christmas kits, and I did not mix them, but we did do an alternate. So here's this one. And then there's this one. Love these colors. What colors are they? I'm going to guess petal pink. So Blackberry Bliss, Crisp Cantaloupe, that's probably that one. Golden Glow, Gray Granite, Hydrangea Hue, Misty Moonlight, Peaceful Pine, Pecan Pie. All right, so that is the Crisp Cantaloupe. Ooh, must be why I love that color. I love eating cantaloupe. We found a really good one this weekend on our trip. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, because I haven't posted it quite yet, I caught some fish. Hallelujah! I was so happy and excited. It was so much fun. We'll be going again. That was super fun. We went below the dam of Flathead Lake, and Flathead Lake is the largest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi. And it was so much fun. We caught smallmouth bass. So I'll be posting a little bit about our weekend getaway. That was so relaxing, so wonderful. I enjoyed every minute of it. I wished it could have lasted longer, as I'm sure everyone can understand. All right, so what we're going to do, well, it doesn't have us popping that out, but I'm going to pop it out because I don't see why we would. Let's see. I think, yes, this does get popped out. So here you have something that you can use on alternate cards. All right. So maybe we'll end up doing some alternates for this one. We're going to stamp first. Here we go on our little gilded, our gold circled. So my question to you was, how many framed pictures do you have in your house? I can't even count mine right now because they are still packed up. We have not hung anything, but it is, yeah, we have a lot between my mother and I. I think that, yeah, that would be really hard to figure right now because we don't have them all unpacked. All right, so let's condition this. You want to just kind of use your hand, or you can stamp and stamp and stamp. You want to kind of get just the factory stuff off of it so that it stamps prettier. All right, there we go. Oh, nice and clear and crisp. All right, so sweetest birthday wishes is the full thing. So we'll move this out of the way, bring this over here. We're going to fold this in half. Use our bone folder. So my basic tools that I tend to have when I'm kitting doing kits or any kind of crafting is my scissors, my bone folder, my tweezers, and my take your pick tool. And the tweezers are kind of a new addition for me, but they've become really super handy. All right, now with this one, we're going to put our tear and tape on the back like this, and like that. And I like to just rub this tip here with the plastic, and then we'll use this to take it off. Like that. Super quick and easy. Woo! All right, so we're going to center this right here. Like that. Very pretty, stuck down. And then on this one, we're going to put dimensionals. All right, so you want to make sure that they are not showing. So I'm going to start with all my corners. So my other question to you is, do you start on the side of your dimensionals or do you start in the middle? Where do you start your pack when you're starting a pack? Not a pack, but a piece of dimensionals. Where do you start them? Do you start in the middle or do you start on the edge? For me, it just depends. I don't necessarily have, I probably typically start on the end like that. So you want to make sure your flat edges are on the sides because this is just fitting on here. If you feel like it's too close, too cramped, you could grab your minis from other kits if you have them, or from your stash. Sometimes I will just pop it open here and start grabbing. Most of the times I think I start from the edge. It also sometimes will depend on whether like one of the ones in the middle has the backing missing, then I would typically start with that. Sometimes that happens where somehow the backing is missing. All right, so we're going to put this on here. We're going to center this. There we go. Super quick and easy cards. And then we're going to be putting this here. So you don't want a dimensional here, but you want 2 dimensionals there. Oh, you want to make sure, yeah. And again, because these are kind of narrow, you want to make sure to put this in the right direction. Not that you have your dimensionals showing. All right. Oh, they've got it more over. There we go. Look at that. That was quick and easy. So if you wanted to spruce this up a little bit, you could add some linen thread to it. You could emboss the frame, or you could emboss the front. You could cut this apart and put this on a white or even a peaceful pine background, and then you could use this as another card front. So there's lots that you could do with this. All right, because with this one, you have this frame that you could stamp, and you have these that you could do. Let's go ahead and do those actually. Yes, on the front. That's the little wispy kind of stuff that's like on the envelope. All right, let's do it. And I'm going to condition it. We'll do that on the inside in the green. Peaceful pine. All right. I love this because you can tap, 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 twist, tap, 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 and it gets it nice and covered. So we're going to do stamping off. So I'm going to stamp this one like that, and then do another one like that. to give it a little bit of dimension. I'm also going to do it as if it is hanging, drying from the ceiling. There we go. All right, and the envelopes, of course, are already done for us, like that. All right, so that is card 1 of this gorgeous gilded gallery. So it looks like a painting. So that's why I was asking how many framed pieces of, or framed, not necessarily framed artwork, but framed pictures do you have? Because you might have people in your framed pictures, and that is a-okay. We like having our people with us. Let's go ahead and stamp. This time we're stamping Sending Love Your Way. There we go. And another block. This time I'm just going to stamp it a few times to condition it. You can do it either way. All right, it's stamping beautifully. Sending love your way. I got that a little bit high, but that's okay. It's totally fine. All right, and while we have it out, of course I already put it away, we're going to go ahead and do that greenery again. I think this time I'm going to have it go this way, and then we're going to ink it again like that, and then I'm just going to do one from the top. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and fold this. Actually, we're going to give it a minute. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Yep, it's pretty much the same thing. Super quick and easy. Oh, wait, there's more stamping on this one. Fun. All right, so we're going to, let me just show you. So it shows you the stamp, and then it shows you with an arrow where to stamp. So we're just going to stamp right there, one little piece, one little bit, to kind of fill in that space. There we go. And that just adds to that whole picture right there. Totally adds to it. Whoop. There we go. All right. Now we are done stamping. Let's put this together. And again, with this card, you can totally cut these two pieces apart because you could do a whole lot with this and with the frame. All right, we're going to flip this over, put some tear and tape on it. You could also mix and match things in here. All right, so we're going to just rub that down and then use our Take Your Pick tool to pull it up. There we go, like that. We're going to lay it down here, centered like that. There we go. Then we're going to pull this one and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put our dimensionals on it. See, once I get it started, I don't just do lines. I start going towards the middle. Not sure why. I'm not sure I even think about it. Do you even think about it? Do you have anything where you're like, yeah, I do that a lot? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. There we go. Then we're going to do 2 on each side. They gave us a nice big sheet of them. Just remember though that your dimensionals from your kits are just a smidge thicker than the dimensionals in the packages. So you don't want to mix and match. Now you can mix your minis and your regular size dimensionals from other kits, and they should be about the same thickness. They should be the same thickness, but you want to make sure to look at that before you mix them up. All right, then we're going to frame this, lining it up like that. And then on this one, we're going to, this one's going to be down here. So we're going to put one here and one here. All right. And have it hang over just a little bit. Like that. All right. And we already did the inside. How beautiful. These are very elegant looking cards. Wouldn't you agree? Give me a thumbs up if you think that they are elegant. I'm thinking they are very elegant cards. The envelopes are very elegant looking. They look like special linen. And then you have the 2 cards. All right, so again, some alternate ideas. You can cut them in half and then put this on another piece of cardstock. You could put it on the blueberry bushel if you wanted to. You could cut this and also put it on blueberry bushel, or put it on white, or put it on whatever color you want that it coordinates with. You can use your color wheel, which I have over here. So if you have, this was blueberry bushel. Isn't it blueberry bushel? I think that's the color they said. No, blackberry bliss, golden glow, hydrangea hue, that's what it is. So hydrangea hue is probably going to be in this category. They do not have the in colors on these wheels. They only have the main colors on these wheels. But say you wanted to put, let's see, blackberry bliss. Say you wanted to use the blackberry bliss because you have the blackberry bliss in here. So you have the blackberry bliss. You can go with any of the colors that are in here that would coordinate, all right, for monochromatic, which you wouldn't have. So if you did triadic, you could use any of those colors. And then if you wanted complementary, you could use any of those colors. And then you have the complementary across. So you have your yellows, your very vanilla, your lemon lolly, which, let's see, you have hydrangea hue. Misty Moonlight is in here. You could use Misty Moonlight. That would be over here. There's your Misty Moonlight. You have your Pecan Pie. That's a complementary color, so you could use those colors. Let's see, Gray Granite. You have your neutrals back here, and so the Gray Granite, that would go with anything, really, plus the white. So you can cut these apart. You could put them on card bases, other card bases, and then you still have these that you could use as well and stamp a little scene in there. You could also turn it this way and do it as a horizontal card. So there's all kinds of options. You can use embossing folders. Embossing folders are a great way to step things up to the next level. All right, so there are just some ideas and some possibilities of this kit. You get 5 of each card. That is pretty amazing. So next week I will be doing the Daisy, oh, what is the name of that? I thought I had brought it over here, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, here it is. Next week I'll show you this one, which is the little scrapbook. All right, so my talking seems to be a little off. There seems to be a little bit of a lag. All right, so I will be back on Thursday with Junebug's Creative Crush. Come check out what I'm crushing on this week. And then Friday will be Paper Pumpkin Playdate at 3:33. So Thursday evening at 7:13 Mountain Time is Junebug's Creative Crush. Check out what I'm crushing on this week. You're going to love it. And on Friday at 3:33 is Paper Pumpkin Playdate. And I have the new Paper Pumpkin kit. Yippee! Of course it came while I was gone, but that's okay. We expected that. I trust you enjoyed last week's video of the Paper Pumpkin Playdate while I was out with my husband on our little getaway. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time, and make sure that you don't miss out on Thursday evening's Creative Crush. See you then. Bye-bye.